Well, joining us now is Jeffrey Wells from the National Security Institute back with us this morning. Jeffrey, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And of course, a major development since we talked to you last. How could Iran entangle the U.S. deeper into this conflict that is now spilling over?
Sure. As the last 10 days, there's been a significant amount of kinetic attacks on Iran themselves. So I'd say that, from a ballistic missile perspective, from, a heavy response, that is probably pretty small. But how they might respond is from more of an asymmetrical perspective. They may target individual Americans, may target journalists, may target some of our friends and allies in the region. And I think most significantly, if they're put back, boxed into a corner, depending on how much damage was truly done over the weekend, and then as the attacks have gone on today, they may close the Straits of Hormuz. And by doing this, either by putting out mines, sinking ships, yes, it may be temporarily, maybe hurting their own economy, but that can certainly hurt the Gulf region, drive up oil prices globally, and begin to bring in other players. I'll also add it was that the Iranians sent an envoy to Moscow yesterday after the attacks, kind of seeking some help, some guidance, and Vladimir Putin was quite critical. Careful to not necessarily mention the United States, but as this is spilled over into friends and allies around the region and globally, I think as we saw in the previous one of the protesters saying, I don't believe that this is a one and done. We haven't seen the battle damage assessment yet. It's pretty hard to tell how much damage was taken underground, but the Iranian government, especially the Ayatollahs, have hinged themselves on their legitimacy and a nuclear becoming a nuclear state, and I don't see them just sort of sitting back and responding to this in a mild-mannered way.
No, in fact, it looks like just a few moments ago, the Iran mission is now posting on social media to the UN saying the Israeli regime and the United States destroyed diplomacy. The so-called offer of diplomacy was nothing more than a deceitful ploy. What does that say to you?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, if I'm looking at it from the Iranian perspective, is this conversation that I think we talked about on Friday, 2 weeks. And then there was attack on Saturday. There was this idea that diplomacy is still on the table. Certainly doesn't feel that way as the continuing attacks take place in Iran. And as Iran responds both in Israel and begins to think about their position in the Middle East and globally, as they have their big ally to both Russia and North Korea.
And how can the U.S. prepare for what's to come, especially because we don't know what is to come? We talked last time we spoke with you on Friday about cybersecurity companies putting businesses on high alert to look out for attacks. We've seen places like New York say they're putting extra patrols out for anything that could come. What can the U.S. be doing that would actually be helpful?
Yeah, I think as we talked on Friday, certainly cyber attacks are going to escalate because that is one of the asymmetric advantages that Iran has. I think using some of their proxies, using the sort of terrorist approaches. Last summer they had sent teams to the United States to assassinate government officials. We don't know the extent that they are here in the United States, but Iranian intelligence and foreign groups are pretty effective. And I think that being on heightened alert, paying attention to see something, say something, as we kind of did for the last 20 years in the aftermath of 9/11 is I'd like to say we'd like to be able to move forward, but kind of the post 9/11 is the new normal. We should be on high alert because we're essentially at we may not think we're at war, but Iran thinks we're at war, and everything becomes a legitimate target to them at this point.
All right, Jeffrey Wells, we appreciate your insight this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me again. Take care.
All right, you too. Stay with KCAL News as we continue to follow the latest developments out of the Middle East.